LCK.
Like, I was all for it. I was like, Smeb, yep, Garen makes some sense. But no, it's going to be the Rumble, of course, because that has been left up. Lots of magic damage now coming out of KT, but that can be made up for by, you know,
top lane and got pressured. Skarner wouldn't provide a lot, so maybe a bit more insight into why they went the Rumble route.
Or maybe it's just that Smeb really didn't want to play it as Beyond. He's going to flash into the cocoon, but Pawn not going to get hit by that one. Teleport has been brought out as KT move everyone to the mid lane. And now Beyond is more than dead. So much damage. First blood goes to Smeb. It's a party. KT just
actually make your plays as the Corki. But if they lose out on vision, it's going to be a pretty low-value Corki if he's forced to stay in the mid lane. So maybe trying to crash a side lane turret and rotate the Corki to a side lane might be the way for MVP.
Well, Mata is in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have the wild growth just yet as the heal is coming through. They're trying to get the kill, and Max is going to pick it up and battle dance out, and that's just a 2.
Pressure from full health for ADD. Skarner's still around top side, and okay, he's going in. There's the flash.
Yeah, the pineapples are down now as there's the flash impale. Not a lot you can do to try and get out of the way of that one, ADD, and Score is going to pick up the kill. That's the power of Skarner. You feel pretty bad.
Glacial Shroud, so an easy item to build that we know he'll go there eventually. Finally, the bottom turret goes down, but here's the answering attempt.
Yeah, I have a feeling ADD is going to be in a lot of trouble as Mato's just tanking up the turret. The impale comes in and just dragged up the pineapples and taken down. Feels like a little Nicky. Was able to claim the Crystal Spire, though, and should be able to get themselves the Rift Herald as well, as Mato's just wizard wanding. Herald is there's the flash impale. Another equalizer comes in. They've got walls everywhere as Max is just going to evaporate now. Mato looking for the flash, gets in there, finds her slow, Beyond slowed as well. We said hard CC was a problem, but the soft CC certainly there for KT as they're taking a lot of damage. Smeb has the heal from Depth, though, who's still chasing after Ian, and they're so low on the side of MVP. But it's
going. Mini Gnar teleporting in would just have been an extra kill over to the side of KT Rolster.
Well, speaking of an extra kill, could potentially find one here as ADD's stunned up. Pawn gets the flick back as well. Just scooped in. That's going to be the flash, but I have a feeling he's not going to escape as Mata is on his way down, and Mega Gnar not going to save him from that. So Score grabs his 3rd kill of the game and over both sides.
What's Dominion Atlas? I've never heard of that.
It's fast and it's fun, Papa Smithy.
I think it's a past tense thing.
Well, so are the KT members waiting in this brush because that's an exploded Mata. Impale does come in. Beyond is able to get up there, though, as Pawn wants to find the flick. Lots of damages. There's the flash out of the way of the Gnar, and Beyond is just going to burn down on the equalizer. I thought he might actually escape, but doesn't happen. Now Ian has to flash with the harpoons.
Significantly helps KT, who've had the vision supremacy around the Baron for the past 5 minutes or so. Waiting for a face check, not getting one yet, but a lot of damage from Deft.
Yeah, I think that's why the rapid fire cannon came in. Maha took so much damage. There's going to be the
Skarner.
slow. He's not even going to use the impale. Doesn't need it, and that's just too easy. As soon as Featherstorm build, he likes to build. As Mata and Deft waiting to try and get a flank in here. Currently 3 versus 2 as Beyond takes a lot of damage, but in comes Smeb. Wants to find the equalizer, really good position. As Maha has to just walk all the way down, it takes half his health bar, and in comes Pawn. There's the flick, and it's going to be avoided by Maha, but the ultimate not doing a whole lot of damage as KT have them about where they want him. Beyond's going to be the first one to go down as Deft is at full health. Not a lot of mana, but he just needs the auto attacks to make things happen. There's the scoop onto ADD. He's going to have his own scoop back, but it's the double kill for Deft, as they now have 2 on the board.
Understanding how a fight will play out seconds beforehand is what you need for equalizer positioning. Had the equalizer overheating to control space on the outside as well. This time the smite is down, and this time it'll be Baron for KT Rolster.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic flanking play there as well, because with Pawn making his way in at exactly the right time with the weave as well, nowhere for MVP to go. They were just corralled, and KT just utilized this to move back towards the mid lane. They have all of the vision. Inside track, so these inner turrets should fall relatively easily. Good knock up there as Deft should be in trouble, almost able to respond as ADD's in trouble. In goes in. It's a double kill now for Maha as MVP are fighting back nicely.
And is going to be Skarner, and alone can struggle trying to get the picks he wants in the late game. We'll have to adjust target selection now.
Looks like Deft thinks that he's a diver. Here's the teleport. Big
Pretty
flank
deep.
Coming in from ADD.
He's got
yeah,
a
exactly
good
right.
bar, though.
Yeah, great position. Smeb's going to move himself over. He is in vision, though, as ADD moves himself towards the backline. Gets the jump in as Deft's in trouble. Ian picks up that kill. It's another good equalizer as Ian's just going to melt to death. Smeb grabs it. Look at the AoE This, my God, KT are ripping them up. It looks like you can kill the Cogmore, but who cares? Smeb's just got the damage himself. Pawn there at the same time. There's the flick onto the Gnar. And KT.
Things go about as great as expected for MVP. They get access to the backline, they delete the Cogmore. It doesn't matter.
Well, Weaver's Wall is going to get KT towards this bottom side. Equalizer, unfortunately, not going to do anything, but that's going to be the flick back onto ADD. Gets himself into the Mega Gnar, but now KT, the cavalry has arrived, and they'll have to trade top laner for top laner, at least, assuming Score can deal with this. There's the fadeaway jump shot as far as the Living Artillery is concerned to finish off that kill.
Yeah, trying to leave the kill. Now the Rift Herald, so the Rift Scuttler vision is gone. Now they know that Beyond has had to go to base, so even with the information, she'll be able to DPS down Baron, free Baron to KT.
Yeah. Oh, that was an optimistic rocket by Ian.
I wondered there for a moment.
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, when you can steal it with a Rakan Q, I feel like a rocket does more damage. Smarter just accidentally took a hell of a lot of package damage. Now ADD jumps himself over to the side. Wild Growth has to be used on Smeb, who flashes himself out of the way. Max has to escape from the fighters. There's the equalizer, beautifully placed on top of everyone, and the Impale will get the pick off on the tanky Gnar. ADD falls down, and now KT will follow MVP. Watching.
And that's kind of the weird thing, is there's a sense of dread, there's a sense of inevitability of a KT victory, although...
Well, Deft is actually going to get caught out. Beyond grabs that kill, and this could be the moment. Score going to flash his way out, just going to blast cone himself up into the sky, and now Pawn. Lots of damage, not a lot of health on the side of MVP's members, as KT still have 2 full health carries. Score looking to try and get himself in there as Smeb. Another beautiful equalizer as the Weaver's Wall comes in. Maha will get flashed on by Smeb, finds his way through, but my God, look at that damage. This is what we said as Pawn can't get autoed one more time by this Corki, who Valkyries forward, gets said auto, and now Score's going to fall down as well. Make that a triple for Ian, and MVP finally taking a long time to die, and Ian is unable to actually take down the minions.
This is probably the wrong decision from MVP if you think about it. Mata also is going to be a complete nuisance.
Yeah, he's just going to be frustrating.
He's trying to waste time. If they're using any damage to not finish the Baron, it's more headaches for the base.
All right, Little Ants doesn't do it, but that was so close.
You did wonder, Atlas.
Yep, we've seen great. Okay, MVP taking the aggro now.
Max in the back line. He has flash up. Remember, Def does not.
The old flanking Rakan trying to make his way through. There's the quickness.
They got
There's the entrance. Massive flick back from Pawn on the back end, but the equalizer's down. KT still looking for it as Deft. He's once again fallen down, but MVP now very, very low, and they're getting themselves into the pit. It is going to be on grabbing the Elder Drake, but can MVP actually make it out alive as they have the man advantage? Pawn, massive work in the back line as Beyond should die to this threaded volley, but it's actually going to miss. Score trying to look for him. Redemption comes in. Marduk not going to be able to grab it, but has set up the kill with that repel as that falls down. Pawn grabs this as Smeb has followed the massive creep wave towards this base, and with this many creeps, the Nexus not going to last long, and they're going to have a heroic battle against 4 members of KT, even though they've killed the Cogmore.
Yeah, Super Minion's going to do the rest of the work. This should be game victory for KT. The fight was fought on MVP's terms. They deleted the enemy Cogmore with the excellent initiation from Max and also the Gnar ultimate. But if we get a replay of the fight, Atlas, 2 members were actually focused on finishing down the Elder Dragon while the rest of KT could rush down, kill 3, and you wonder if the starting call was right, but the in-fight, team-fight call was wrong, because when you delete the Cogmore, it feels like you should have better options, and securing the Elder Dragon, I don't know if that would have been the difference. Very hard to judge. It was a very charged team fight. It goes the way of KT. They have enough healthy members. They finished the game, but this game was a lot closer than you would have imagined after the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Corki and Zaya did so much damage towards the end of that game, even Beyond as well, being able to get the key cocoons in those fights. You just need to have a massive shout out to Pawn. He got a 3-man seismic shove that I feel actually completely swayed that last team fight. Really beautiful stuff from the mid laner from KT, and it wasn't leaning on Deft. You see the Cogmore and you think, well, we're going to be leaning on Deft for this game for the late game damage. He exploded multiple fights. You're
ultra all in on the early game. So they're going to go for a pressure draft with Camille. This is basically get a really big lead early game, kind of like the series we saw yesterday, or perish there and get Beyond top lane. Notice score is level 4 to the level 3 of Beyond, though. It could be the turn.
Yeah, they're looking for the stun. They find the cocoon onto ADD, though, and Score has to flash himself out of the way. Good repel as Smeb gets himself over to the side, but Beyond should be able to find this one. Oh my god, the heal comes in, but First Blood still goes over to MVP, but Pawn's got the double buffs, and ADD is, able to get out with a hook shot.
Potion. Nice. 2 potions and the double buffs. Now, use both summoners in the engage. There is a repeat gank option for Beyond. But when you're Nidalee Corki, your ganking mid lane synergy is not great. Bot lane.
Yep, that's going to be the flash. The Ignite's already down as well as Marta's going to fall, but Maha's in trouble. Score gets himself over to Beyond, who's trying to dash his way out, but Max just keeping everyone alive. Spear is going to land.
It was actually Maha being zoned from a lot of the minions.
Now Pawn is looking for more of the double terrain composition from KT, demonstrating that you don't even need a Weaver's Wall, and Talia is a fantastic game. I don't know. I don't know either. ADD taking a bit of damage here. Score looking for the dive. Pawn's making his way up as well. The Camille will be struggling. Really good use of the ultimate, but still going to die as Pawn just flicks him back in to his threaded volley. Doesn't tank the turret until he's dead, at least.
Given that Camille is still a level behind, and they would love to kill her again.
Oh god, Weaver's Wall's going to come in. Cocoon's going to miss, but who cares? Ultimatum comes down as well. This turret is very, very low as they're just trying to hold on to the turret aggro onto Smeb. Score picks that one up. Pawn somehow always is the first one to get the aggro. It's now Beyond can't go through the threaded volley, and despite hitting a pretty damaging spear onto Score, pretty easily the Titanic Hydra into Black Cleaver, into the Gargoyle Stoneplate. Not necessarily in that order, as now Beyond is getting surrounded, and ADD is dead. That had to be a slam dunk. That felt like, you know, those was like the adult just reaching over and putting the ball in.
I feel like all you can do about this game as it goes is make declarative statements. Like we're now making a record of fact. These are the things that happen.
Boom.
Corki died.
Corki definitely died. But how are you supposed to commentate?
They could start the Baron and peel off. And the teleport play starting though.
That is a all right.
You know you take a lot of damage when you die in the CC.
The hook had to then hit the guy behind him. Didn't happen. Baron is going to be the next option.
Look at the control ward line they have. They have a control ward line at 24 minutes of every rush on the way to the first camp in their own jungle.
And there's nowhere that they could even use a blast cone to get over. Oh my god. Free Infernal Drake though for MVP. The advantages that they're going to gain of multiplicative scaling of their damage stats is going to be incredible. Oh, really good blast going there as Smeb wants to get himself in. Cataclysm lands. There's the hook from Mata as he throws out the Dark Passage to no one in particular. It's going to be the Corki falling down. And
from occasion, but more often than not, you have games like this where they look worlds apart from their enemy, as Smeb might die anyway.
He might. Flags and drags his way out as there's a Cataclysm trying to do some work. Oh my god! Almost survived, actually, is deft with the Baron buff. Oh, feels good. Spanakopter. Excuse me. Spanakopter.
You keep that to yourself.
It's a pastry. Alright, there's Cataclysm. Maha does throw out the ultimate, gets himself out of the way with the flash, but that's no buttons left to keep himself safe. Good Cocoon lands onto Max. Arrow there as well, and that's the pick that they needed to continue this pressure. Inhibitor falls, second one of the game for KT, and they're not done yet. Minion wave moving towards this mid lane inhibitor turret, and Deft is still just clearing minions. In goes ADD. The ultimatum goes down as Smeb just trying to keep himself alive. Stoneplate does exactly that, as now Deft has the consistent damage. Flash right in there. He's gonna die immediately though. That was a little bit overly excited. As in goes Pawn. Shoves the ball back, so much damage, he's still alive! As ADD jumps forward, the flash, unfortunate use of...
Pawn.
Oh my god.
Sometimes Pawn is a god, Atlas.
Exactly, the threaded volley went in the wrong direction. Other than that was stunning. Oh my god, now KT should be able to just finish this one off. Max, of course, it's so early in this game that he's respawned again, picks up Pawn, who almost got MVP until he just fed his life away underneath the turret here. Max is just being ignored by KT. Another day in the office for these guys as it's looking like the 2-0 over MVP. I want to apologize for the fact that we weren't really talking about much throughout the entire game, but that was because of the KT dominance that they were able to put out. That's an open Nexus that they're not...
But the respawns are coming, Atlas. Too early in the game.
Oh, no.
No need for apologies when MVP comes back in this game, Atlas. You can't convince them.
But what if they did? This is like the what if he makes the first jump? No one makes the first jump. No one survives that either as Maha just explodes. Ultimatum comes in, but that's not the ultimatum you want. This is the partner giving out the ultimatum when the partner definitely wants to break up, okay? Like, this is exactly what KT wanted. That ultimatum, not so great, as now Smeb is playing with his food. The Nexus should fall down now, as hopefully my condition doesn't come back once again. Deft is here, he's got auto attacks, and there's a fountain still down, okay. Deft, be careful. KT will be able to do it now, though. 32 minutes into the game, and MVP are flattened by KT. The warpath certainly on once again, and no 3-game series this time.
Not this time, but a domination from KT Rolster, blowing away MVP in the early game. Another draft with these Nidleys that really makes very little sense. Went for the Camille last pick when they had no front line. Could have just gone for Jason, rolled all in on Poke, but went for the Camille split push. Camille ganked 3 times, was never going to do anything in the game, and KT, after being run a bit in the first game, where MVP made it competitive, kind of in spite of what the game could have been, blow away their opposition this time and jump up the ladder as well, as they're able to now run Samsung very close. They are now also 10-3, but Samsung Galaxy will play tomorrow and have the chance to move to 11-2.
Yep, Longzhu also up there at the same time, so KT still a little bit rough when it comes to the top of those standings, but getting a win over the bottom place team is something that's absolutely necessary, and the 2-0 is starting to become way more necessary as well, because we've seen the teams can drop games to these bottom 3 teams. BBQ was able to take one off Afrika yesterday, and now KT, dominant victory, so keeping themselves up towards that top spot.
And I think we have to start redefining who the bottom teams are.